Hello students, we are discussing on pavement design and highway construction. Today we will start our module number 3, that is construction of pavement. We are starting with the flexible pavement. What are the construction procedure for flexible pavement? Constructing the different layer of flexible pavement. We have previously seen we are constructing total 4 different layers for a flexible pavement, that is subgrade, then subbase, base layer, and the final is wearing course. Okay, so we will start with the construction procedure for the subgrade, or we can say construction procedure of embankment. Before starting the detailed procedure, let recall what is embankment and what is subgrade. So an embankment refers to a volume of earthen material that is placed or compacted for the purpose of raising the grade of roadway above the level of existing surrounding ground surface. This is what an embankment says. So we can say embankment can be the natural or it can be the produced with the compaction. And the term subgrade, that says that an imported material that has been used to build an embankment. So we can say subgrade is a part of embankment which is used to build an embankment. Yes. So let's talk about its construction process, or we can say construction operations. So this is the construction procedure, wherein the first step, that is setting out of work. Okay, now what is setting out? After the completion of site clearance, first of all, at initial level, wherever you are going to construct, you have to first of all clear that particular site with, if it contains any obstructions like any unnecessary tree or any unnecessary object in your particular survey area. So first of all you have to clear that path. After the completion of site clearance, the limits of embankment shall be marked by fixing pegs at regular intervals. So once you clear the path, after that, first task you have to perform is you have to mark pegs. First of all you have to mark the places, and on that particular places you have to fix the pegs so that you can limit the embankment. Okay, now after fixing the pegs, construction tow line shall be more than a design tow line for proper construction of edge. That means your design line, if your design line is around 10 meter, at that moment your construction tow line should be around 11 meter. So it should be slightly more than the design line, so that you can easily continue your work. You can continue your work within a limit. If you have extended your limit, that means that at some place, if you want to compress that line, you can easily compress, or you can work within your limit. The next step, that is dewatering. If the foundation of the embankment is in an area with stagnant water, and in the opinion of engineer it is feasible to remove it, the same shall be removed by bailing out or pumping out, and the area of the embankment foundation shall be kept dry. Care shall be taken to discharge the drain water so as not to cause any damage to the works, to the crops, or any other property. This says if in your working area, that area contains a stagnant water, that means if it contains any stable water, okay, so at that moment, as per the opinion of engineer, you should remove that drain water out so that you can carry out your work in dry area. And during this work you have to make sure that you will not damage any works, any crops or any other properties surrounding your embankment. The third step is stripping and storing topsoil. When so directed by the engineer, the topsoil from all area of cutting and from all areas to be covered by embankment foundation shall be stripped to specified depth that should not exceeding 50 mm, and it stored in stockpiles of height not exceeding 2 meter for covering the embankment slopes, outslopes and other disturbed area where revegetation is desired. The topsoil should not be unnecessarily subjected to traffic either before stripping or when a stockpile. Stockpile shall not be surcharged or otherwise loaded, and multiple handling shall be kept to a minimum. So basically what it says that the topsoil from all the cutting areas that has to be taken, and from all the areas to be covered by the embankment foundation shall be stripped, and it has to be kept in a stockpiles, or else it should be dumped or it should be used where the area of revegetation, where this revegetation is possible, revegetation is desired, at that place this soil has to be dumped, or else you can keep that soil in the stockpiles. Stockpiles is nothing but a large area that accumulated stocks of goods or the materials where you can store particular things. So next step is that compacting the ground. Now the original ground shall be leveled to facilitate placement of first layer of the embankment. It's sacrificed, mixed with water and then compacted by rolling so as to achieve a minimum dry density as specified in the modified technical specimen. The foundation treatment specified for embankments shall be carried out as per the approved drawing. Unsuitable material occurring in embankment foundation shall be removed as per the direction and the approval of the engineer, and it replaced by approved material laid in layers and suitably compacted to the required and specified degree of compaction. Whenever you are compacting any ground, it is very necessary that it should be suitably compacted and as per the requirement it is compacted. If the degree of compaction is higher, then that compaction is not considered as a proper compaction. The excavation at approved borrow areas shall be carried out with the excavator, and transportation of excavated material shall be done by dumpers, tractor trolleys, etc. The natural ground soil shall be tested for its suitability. If it found unsuitable, it shall be replaced with the permissible or the permission of the engineer. The dry density of natural ground soil shall be determined and natural ground shall be tested for the dry density. This test has to be performed after the compaction. Now if the dry density found less than 95% of maximum dry density, the original ground shall be sacrificed and it mixed with the required quantity of water, and then again it should be compacted by vibratory roller to achieve the minimum specified dry density. For the construction adjacent to the existing embankment, a continuous horizontal benching of 300 millimeter wide, or as per the drawing, it shall be provided in the existing embankment. So this is the procedure of compacting the ground. After the compaction, you must have to carry a test of dry density of that particular soil. If it should not found feasible, that you have to sacrifice the original ground and you have to mix some quantity of water into it. The next step, that is spreading material in different layers. The spreading material in the different layers, the embankment material shall be then be spread in layers not exceeding 250 mm compacted thickness when using vibratory roller over the entire area with the dozer, and finished by a mortar grader. When the existing embankment to be widened, continuous horizontal benches shall be cut out into the old slope to ensure adequate bond. Where water is required to be added, the same shall be sprinkled from a water tanker fitted with the sprinkler uniformly on the surface but without flooding, and shall be mixed thoroughly in a soil by harrowing until uniform moisture content is obtained throughout the depth of the layer. If the material delivered to the roadbed is too wet, it shall be dried by aeration and exposure to the sun till the moisture content is accepted for the compaction. At the time of compaction, the moisture content should be in the range of 1% above and 2% below of optimum moisture content. So this is what about spreading the material in the different layers. The next is the compaction. The before step, that was the compacting ground, that was for the natural soil, that was the natural ground. We were compacted that natural ground, then after we have sprayed the material over it, and now again on that sprayed material we have to do the compaction process. So the compaction shall be done with the help of vibratory roller of 8 to 10 tons static weight. The compaction trial shall be carried out on a suitable stretch to determine the number of passes required for particular type of soil. It should be dumped for embankment to achieve the specified density as per the MORTH. Based on the trial, actual compaction will be carried out with the required number of passes of soil compactor until the specified density is to be achieved. The rolling shall progress parallel to the center line of the road, uniformly overlapping each preceding track by 1/3 of the width. Rolling shall be continued till the specified density is achieved. In the case of specific compaction, that is not achieved the material in the soft area. It shall be removed and replaced with approved material. The density shall be tested by sand or sand replacement method or the nuclear density gauge. The subsequent layer shall be placed only after the finished layer has been tested and accepted. The top levels of the embankment shall be checked with reference to the longitudinal and the cross profile of the road as per drawing to keep the variation within the tolerance limit. The different layers of the embankment will be marked on pillars fixed outside the tow line. So this is the compaction process that has to be performed till the density is not being achieved. The next is finishing operation. Yes, the finishing operation. Now, finishing operations shall include the work of shaping and dressing the shoulders and the side slopes to conform to the alignment, to the levels, the cross sections and the dimensions. Now both the upper and lower ends of the side slope shall be rounded off to improve the appearance, and it has to be merged the embankment with the adjacent terrain. The topsoil removed and conserved earlier shall be spread over the field slope to facilitate the growth of the vegetation. The slope shall be rough and moistured slightly prior to the application of the topsoil in order to provide satisfactory bond. The depth of the topsoil shall be sufficient. It should be usually having thickness being from 75 mm to 150 mm, and when the earthwork operation have been substantially completed, the road area shall be cleared of all the debris and the ugly scares in the construction area responsible for the objectionable appearance eliminated. So after the completion of the project or after the completion of this all the compaction, then after you have to make a finishing surface, and that has to be cleared from the debris and from the ugly scares. So this is what the actual construction procedure to construct a subgrade or to construct an embankment thoroughly with a particular thickness that is usually of 75 mm to 150 mm. That might ask in MCQ that the usual thickness of the subgrade or the embankment is, so that varies from 75 mm to 150 mm. Thank you.